that they're changing my voice. This video, like all of my videos, is best for everybody. Everyone needs to hear it. What is right is best for everyone. Now, the devil controls the political system, especially the major parties, right? But it's not entirely that simple. We got to look at characteristics. I urge you, I implore you, I urge you to write down the characteristics of the political parties. And keep in mind that Satan is the god of this world. Are they reinforcing the existing social orders of their party and of the governing class? Are they trying to make economic justice? Speaking of economic justice, Satan is said to be the god of this world. So why do Republicans claim to be Christians and they talk about trickle-down economics? Trickle down from where? The most holy and pure people with the judgment that God gave them? No. It trickles down from the devil class. Again, no offense to anybody. If you're a rich person, I urge you to repent, to do what's right. I'm not trying to insult you in this video. But when I put things a certain way, I find that when I listen to myself, it's more clear for me. And when I talk to people, they say that it's also more clear for them. The bread that you're getting is the result of the yeast and the bread of the Pharisees. The Pharisees, Luciferian, fairy, fake, false, illusion, falsehood, Pharisees. Your marriages, they tend to be quite expensive, and you can't serve God and money. Now, I want you at this point to, instead of picturing whites and Jews and LGBT people and token minorities, when you picture the politicians and the corporations, just now picture them as demons and devils. All of a sudden, it's more clear. Demons and devils. And what do they want? They want you to rely on their money, and the Bible says the money is the root of all sorts of evil. It causes people to lose faith in God and to cling on to the world instead. And 1 John 2:15 says, don't love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. They want you to get the trickle-down blood money from the devil after you jump through the devil's hoops. They don't want you to start your own political party or your own grouping or your own church, your own organization of people. They don't want you to rally to me. They want you to follow their pre-existing demon orders. And if they look like demons, you would get it a lot quicker. It would be harder for you to disassociate and play stupid. But you've been conditioned by potent military-grade psychology. Hollywood grade as well. The brightest and the best, they say, from the mental health sector, from the field of psychology and marketing and sociology and technology, have come together and they look at the results, they study the population, they refine their devil technique until you believe that if it's white, that it's magically right. And I don't care about skin color, they do. I've said it many times, the spirit is everything, principles are everything. Generational moral inheritance is important, and the flesh means nothing. Just because it's black doesn't mean it's right. Just because it's white doesn't mean it's right. So when we look at this thing, we have to know for sure that when they use social norms to date you, it's wrong. Let me tell you a little story here, okay? America's 67% white. Where I live, it's only about 2% black. 2%. Almost every long-term relationship I've been in, and at first glance, no, I'd say it's every long-term relationship I've been in, they were black. And I grew up, like many people, not preferring black women. I was not at any point in my life looking for just black women. Never, ever, ever, ever. Where I live, it's only 2% black. I was with a female from Ethiopia. was with a female who's part black, part Hispanic. Okay. I was with another female who's black. Okay. Two of them lived in Santa Cruz, in a different city. It's about as populated, give or take, as the city I live in, Morgan Hill, which is by San Jose, which has about 1 million people, which is much more populated than Santa Cruz or Morgan Hill. They were conditioned to believe that flesh and social norms and the accompanying values are how people should magically date. And I say magically so they don't take me out of context. I despise magic. That's what they were conditioned to believe. They were conditioned to believe that you don't judge people by the content of the character, but instead you do what is sick and you judge them based on whether they're your quote-unquote type. What do you mean type? You should have been born again and should have been looking for righteousness and justice. Like Isaiah 5:7. The Lord weighs the heart, not social norms and race and what your friends and family think. And they shun me. Over there in Santa Cruz by the beach with their little bikinis, showing their flesh, inspiring erotic desire, reinforcing Eros' spirit, paganism, in their Greek-themed fraternities and sororities. And again, I don't care if they're Greek or if they're fucking, Chinese. I don't care what race you are. I care that you worship the fucking devil. Excuse my French. But when I say it that way, sometimes people get it more, so I'm going to say it the way you understand. Whether I call them a brood of vipers, snakes, dogs, or whatever. They rejected me because they have been brainwashed by racists who worship the devil to date in a way that's racist while they worship the devil. 2% black. So why on earth would a mulatto guy who's only half black, who prefers other women growing up at least, before I knew I was Jesus, why would I be dating all these black women? And not other races. In the most liberal place on the planet. Because this is a racist fucking planet. And America's no exception. You people need to grow up with your tribalist bullshit. You need to grow up with, but my parents don't want me to bring home a black guy type of bullshit. You need to grow up. You need to be born again and to grow up, not down. And if you're not mad, and instead you're mad at me, why? What the hell? I'm Jesus. You can be rebuked by a donkey in your story, but not by a mulatto person who's Christ himself? I say to Santa Cruz women who aren't black, to San Jose, why didn't you love me? The greatest commandment is to love God with all of your heart. That's the greatest commandment. God is love. People get married with a priest, for richer or poor, till death do us part. But you date based on blood money, social norms, and your closed friend network. You say you're an emo, you're a rocker, you're a thug, you're a goth. And even gangsters and all their rebellion against the system, basically they all worship the devil. And they're in ethnic-themed gangs. You're Mexican, you're black, you're Filipino, you're in a white biker gang. You're in ethnic-themed gangs that embrace the flesh and refuse to do the work of God. And black people are no exception, mind you. Some of them I wasn't black enough for, but that usually wasn't the case. Usually they didn't give a shit. They say, you look black, that's all that matters. These superficial racial scales that God despises. You say, how do you know that? Well, one, because I'm Christ. Two, because it says in Proverbs, in several places, the Lord detests dishonest scales. In the New Testament, the flesh means nothing. So if you say the flesh is more important than righteousness and character, that's a dishonest scale, and the Lord detests it. And if you merge with it, where it means more to you than anything else, then the Lord detests you. Your heart is an abomination. The perverse in heart. Nebuchadnezzar has swallowed you whole and thrown you into confusion until you love that which is evil and hate that which is good, until you call good evil and evil good. But like Nimrod, before Abraham I am, And I'm a mighty warrior before the Lord, the anointed, the war club, the sword, the weapon of battle. It says in Jeremiah 51, verse 20, you are my war club, my weapon of battle. With you I shatter nations. With you I destroy kingdoms. And that includes those cultures I described. With you I shatter horse and rider. With you I shatter chariot and driver. With you I shatter man and woman. With you I shatter old man and youth. With you I shatter young man and young woman. With you I shatter shepherd and flock. With you I shatter farmer and oxen. With you I shatter governors and officials. Before your eyes I will repay Babylon, which is spoken of in Revelation, and all who live in Babylonia, for all the wrong they have done in Zion, for all the wrong they have done in my heart, for all the wrong they have done in the spiritual realm. You broke my heart for devils, for people who worship the devil fanatically. And many of them are so crazy that they think that they aren't or something. Go back to verse 7. I'm going to go verse 6 rather. Flee from Babylon. Run for your lives. Run away from those cultures you're in. Run to me. Do not be destroyed because of her sins. It is time for the Lord's vengeance. He will repay her what she deserves. Babylon was a gold cup, right? The cup in the prostitute's hands. Okay, Babylon, the mother of prostitutes and abominations, a gold cup in her hands. Babylon was a gold cup. Okay, they're now worshiping a different god, the prostitute and the beast, the Antichrist, the devil, who's in power, who's the spirit in all of them. So Babylon was a gold cup in the Lord's hand. Now she's a cup in the whore's hand. She made the whole earth drunk. The nations drank her wine. Therefore they have gone mad. What happened? They went crazy. And mental health, why they rebel against me? Are they the experts on crazy? No, they're crazy too. Verse 7, they've gone mad. And we go down to verse 34. Nebuchadnezzar swallowed them whole. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, has devoured us. He has thrown us into confusion. He has made us an empty jar. Another vessel, right? Cup, jar. Like a serpent, he has swallowed us and filled with our delicacies. Filled himself with our delicacies and then has spewed us out. Some kind of typo there. But one way or another, he's filled with the delicacies. He's taken advantage of them. He's reaping what he did not sow. He's taken the attractive women, the kids, led them astray. Guys who otherwise would have been great. He's thrown them into confusion. He swallowed them whole. The next verse says, may the violence done to our flesh be on Babylon. Say the inhabitants of Zion, may our blood be on those who live in Babylonia, say Jerusalem. You see how this is an insistence on them being punished. That's there, and God does not rebuke them for it. God knows I'm right to rebuke the world, especially Santa Clara County, Santa Cruz County, people on the internet. Just in, you rejected Jesus Christ. And not only that, you rejected dating Jesus Christ. And how many of you went off to get married? Went off to date other people? And would this have happened the same way anywhere on the planet? You betcha. Because your marriages aren't valid. Because you're in the spirit of the devil, going to churches that worship the devil. And your marriage agreement is a covenant with the devil.